Lori here from the Goodbye Good Girl Project and Empowered Consciousness, which is what we all are. Thank you for being here, if you are, whenever you are. We are living in interesting times, which is the old Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. These are the times that try men's souls, they used to say. And aren't they right? Aren't they right? Women's souls, by the way. I want to tell you that what we're doing here is talking about something that has proven to be absolutely critical to my life, and that I think is the new paradigm way of looking at how we need to live, to understand our power, our magnificence, our limitlessness, our incredible ability to be, do, and have whatever it is that we want. We have that power. This is what we have to understand. We don't understand, oh, if I just want this thing, I just point and I get it. That's not what we have to understand. That, in a way, is just too easy. What we have to understand is what it means to be truly powerful. And it's not a physical thing. It's translated through our physicality, but it's not done with physical force. I'm looking for my phone here because I want to, this is supposed to be live on TikTok, and I want to check that that's really happening. It's supposed to be live on YouTube as well. And I want to check that. So excuse me. Where did I put my phone? It's just like that. Okay. So anyway, it's supposed to be streaming. It says it's streaming. We'll see. If anybody leaves me a message or something, or in the chat, then hey, here, let's make chat an overlay, and we'll see if anybody makes a comment. That would be awesome. It's hard for me to let go of stuff. I really do want to find that phone. Where's my phone? All right, never mind. Listen, I've been working for weeks to get this thing to work, and I am a super software nerd. So why this is giving me all this trouble, I don't know. It says I'm live, so we'll hope that's true. All right. I am somebody who does teaching and coaching, and I do workshops, I do talks, I offer keynote talks about and I'm trying to find the words to really define this at this point, because it has so gelled into an understanding that we are not just human. We're never only human. And we're not beyond the human either. We are the hybrid. This is something that is absolutely being talked about by so many people on YouTube. I'm sure also on TikTok, though I haven't been watching it on TikTok. But people like Bashar, who has been being channeled by Daryl Anka for, 40 years. Although I just learned of him, like the end of 2024. So late to that party, but I've definitely been paying attention to Abraham Hicks for like 30 years on and off. And Abraham's work was really, really, really important for helping me create a way to get out of my almost 4 decades of clinical depression. And if you've ever had like seriously long-lasting depression, you will know what an accomplishment that is. But I'm not going to tell you that I did it with sheer force. See, this is the thing. Goodbye Good Girl Project is named that because we are living in a jail cell that we see, if we even see it, we see it as being permanent, that we have to either give into it in certain ways, or we have to get clever and try to work with it to match up to its energy, to win, to be successful in our lives. And that is not the way it works. I can tell you, I spent a good 30 years, if not 35, probably is closer to the mark, in corporate America. And there are many problems with the corporation and the corporation mindset. And the big thing is that it's a system that's top down. That's somebody has more power than you have. And there's not that community. There's not that sense of circles and cycles coming together. It's I win, you lose, or you win and I lose. This is not the way to live. This is not it. Okay. So I was just sitting here and shuffling my tarot cards, and one card came out. It's the Queen of Pentacles. Queens always look backwards. They always take stock. They are just like the feminine. We take the feminine, meaning not female, but the feminine always looks back and says, "Let me take stock. Let me see what I can synthesize from all that I've gone through and all that I know. Let's see if that's, something I can understand and do." And then they make a decision. So the Queen of Pentacles has to do with our lot in life, our way forward in life, what keeps us going, like money, like food, like like even love, all of the things that keep us in our human bodies. And that is really important, because what I am teaching today is that if you want to be empowered in your consciousness, you have to have the two sides of your awareness. One is of your humanness, and that includes things like your emotions, your thoughts, and how your thoughts can get kinked like a garden hose, or you can unkink them and you will start to get clarity about things, which is absolutely priceless. And you also have to be extremely aware of your energy. Now, when I say extremely aware, I do not mean judgmental. I do not mean that you have to be on your own ass all the time. That's not what I'm talking about at all. That's not it. I'm talking about understanding that each of us has emotional set points. If you are somebody who tends to be bitter, you have a bitter emotional set point, right? If you are somebody who tends to be just joyous, you have a joyous emotional set point. We don't have just one, all right? But as a collection of emotions that we have, a collection of thoughts and beliefs that we have, we then come up with that mishmash. It becomes synthesized into what is our emotional setting. Is it one that expects really fantastic things to be coming in? Is that what it's doing? Or is it something that is a little hesitant, that's like step on the gas, then step on the brake, step on the gas, step on the brake? What is our emotional set point? This is important because we're all, and this universe and this world and everything is made of energy. And this goes to law of attraction, which is, to put it very simply and really correctly, what you are energetically, vibrationally aligned with will be in your field. You will be able to see it. It will be able to find you. And whatever you are not, whatever you are, like, you think, I can't see that, I could never get that, I could never obtain this, I could never attract this, then you won't. You won't. Unless you have a moment where you suddenly open and, oh, I suddenly got that money, I suddenly got that relationship. That's great, but you need to have more mastery than that, because I know that for decades, I just was waiting every day for the sun to come through, for the clouds to clear, for everything to come into focus so that I could create the life I wanted to create. I always wanted to be a professional actor. I am a professional actor. Am I working currently? No. You haven't seen me in movies. I'm not Julia Roberts yet. But I am an actor. That's who I am. I'm a performer. I'm a speaker. I'm a communicator. because it's not about getting people to believe what you say. It is about communication, really is about connection. And it really is about sharing. And it really is about emotional intimacy and vulnerability. When you allow yourself to be seen, when you allow yourself to be real and visible, and you're also simultaneously able to have boundaries so that you know what is okay with you and what is not okay with you, and you're able to speak and say, I don't like that. Thank you, I'm leaving. Or I would like more of that, please. Let's talk, let's connect more. When you have that combination, then you are working on both cylinders, the human and the spiritual, the human and the energetic. Now, let me give you one more thing to think about here. The human, what we see around us that seems so fixed, it seems like you can't change it, which is actually incorrect. But it seems that way, doesn't it? It's very convincing. It's actually made of energy just like you are. And as you shift your energy doesn't just stay within your body. It vibrates out. It's just like any sound wave, like musical sound waves, the same way. And when enough people get on the same wavelength, then reality, which actually is what's already been created, begins to shift, because now we are deliberately and consciously saying, I want to vibrate at this place. I want to be in a place that doesn't have this stupid dictatorship that we're living in the US. I don't want this. I have a vision of us becoming an actual community, the United Community of States. How about that? The United Community of States. Awesome. Completely awesome. God, I have to find my phone, because if you're saying anything to me on TikTok, I can't see it. Um, so the United Community of States is what I envision, where people give a shit about each other. And we actively stay involved in what creates our country. I am guilty as any of you of not being involved in politics, not bringing my voice forward. And oh, well, here we are. Here we are now. We can we can shame ourselves. We can say, I'm an idiot, or we can say the opposite of idiot, which is, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to make a difference then. It doesn't really matter. Here we are now. What do? Bring your passion. Bring your passion to the fore. Bring it. Now you may think that passion means you have to be angry all the time. That's not it. You do not. You do not have to be angry all the time. That's not the way. You can use your anger as fuel to get you up and out and attending town hall meetings and attending whatever and doing marches and making your voice heard, and in all kinds of ways, making phone calls and all of it. Be vocal, be visible, be heard. Do it from your place of vision, impassioned vision. Oh my God, absolutely stunning stuff, truly. That has the energy to transform, because you sweep other people up in your positive vision. And when I say positive, I don't mean like a Pollyanna sort of everything's fine. That's not what I mean. When I was a kid, a little kid, I remember distinctly feeling that this world, including this space that is between me and my hands, me and this backdrop here, that this space was actually teeming with energy. I wouldn't have named it that. I was 4, 5 years old. Well, who cares what I would name it? But I was aware that of my innate understanding that all I had to do was decide what I wanted, was like work with it, play with it, mold it, be it. But at the same time, I was 4 or 5 years old. And I was learning to adapt to the environment called Earth. And I was listening to my parents, and I was listening to TV, and I was listening to all the different things that said, you better, if you want to survive, you got to do this, and you got to do this, and you got to do this. And so my light bulb self got dimmer and dimmer, except when I was on stage. Because there, they can't stop me. There, I get to show up as me, and I get to illuminate other people with my performing, with my energy, with my connecting with them energetically and emotionally. Amazing, amazing stuff. Amazing. Energy is the real deal. So what do I mean by energy? I mean when you feel that you're in love. What does that feel like? Where do you feel that? You may say, well, I don't know. But you'll feel it. You sense it. It's somewhere in your consciousness. It's somewhere. You may not be able to tune into your body, or you may. Different people have different strengths for connecting. Some people feel physically. Some people sense something. It's a very individual thing, but when you start to tune in, what happens is it comes into focus. It's like one of those movies where you have like a moment where everything is all blurry, and then like little by little it focuses in, and suddenly you see exactly what you're looking at. It's like that for us too. It's totally like that for us. And this stuff is so exciting. It is so exciting to realize that you have the power to shift your own reality. You have the power, together with others, to shift what is going on here in our politics, in our world. And we're doing it. We're doing it. Now, if you're somebody who's freaking out over what's going on, I overstand, right? I don't just understand, I overstand. And what I started doing was going to YouTube and looking at different tarot and psychic readers who talk on the political situation. And what it did for me, what it continues to do for me, is it gives me the energy side of things. Because if you just look at the news, you're going to freak out. Because this shit is crazy. It's 100% lunacy. It is cruelty. It is beyond understanding. All of it is beyond understanding. Why, this is an unanswerable, really, at this point for me. Why would the Republicans in Washington decide to slit their throats publicly and go, I'm not going to respond to any of my people? It's great for the Democrats. It's great for us, great for the liberals like me, because we'll just step in and go, I'll listen to you. I'll listen to your pain, because we have to do this together. But as long as we stick in the human only, we are going to be frightened. We are going to be stuck in this idea that there's only so much supply for all of us. This is not true. We are made of limitlessness. We are made of limitless energy. You can call it God. You can call it the universe. You can call it the self. You can call it your dog's name. It doesn't really matter. It's the concept that matters. It's the understanding. It's the breakthrough in understanding that you're not a piece of God, as people like to say. You're not a piece of God. You are the whole. You and you and you and you and me and her and him and them. We are each of us a reflection of the whole. This is not easy to wrap the head around, right? This is just not easy to wrap the head around, but that it is nonetheless completely 100% true. The spiritual path over the last, let's say how many millennia, has been to see God as this thing that is separate from us and try to attain it, try to be good enough for it, try to measure up to it, try to understand it, try to connect with it. In fact, what the great saints and sages throughout history have been pointing out to us is that it's not separate from us. It is, we are made of it, literally made of it. So when people, these days when I hear you really need self-love, I'm thinking, yeah, wow. I think of it in terms of, if I love myself with a capital S, I am loving qualities and aspects of the divine that are just little pinpricks of light in me currently. But as I focus on them, just like that movie that is blurry and then comes into focus, I will begin to be able to live in the same devotional and joyous and laughing and insightful manner as I have done in moments when I've been with my spiritual teacher, for instance. My spiritual teacher is Amachi, the great hugging saint from India. And what I have felt with her, it from the minute I met her, well, not quite from the minute, but the next day, that's a story for another time. But what I got from being around her was an understanding that this divinity thing is real. I wasn't raised with it. I wasn't raised with it, but I was raised non-religious Jewish. Um, so always very social Jew, very idea-driven Jewish, that we all deserve to be educated, that we should all investigate and question everything. Why? Because we need to find our freedom for our own sovereignty. I know this is all a lot, but I just decided I wanted to go live, and I wanted to start sharing and being another voice out there going, you know what? You are not limited. We are not only human. Don't ever say it again. Oh, I'm only human. You are not. That's the biggest lie you ever told yourself. It's the biggest lie anybody ever told you. It is. It's the biggest lie anybody ever told you. You are not only human. Not by a long shot. Have you ever, this is a little edgy maybe, but have you ever seen anybody after they've passed away? Have you ever seen their body after they passed away? It's devoid of something. We go, yeah, it's devoid of life, dumbass. Yeah, I know. But it's that energy that made them that person, not this. Just something to think about. Now, if you resonate with the idea that we have these aspects of us that we need to come into an understanding of mentally, and then come into contact with emotionally and sensorially. I think it's sensorially. It might be sensorially. I'll look it up. I'm kind of a word nerd. I know, I'm totally a word nerd. So correct me if you want to. When we understand that we need this brain thing to unkink, to get the spiritual and religious isms sorted out. The things that say I'm supposed to become worthy when you already are. You are worth, as my friend Bernie Sewell talks about. She's from Wales, and she's the doctor of self-worth. She's awesome. Look her up. She's fabulous. That's got to go. When you take the things that you truly believe about spirituality and you start applying them to your own beliefs, and you start to questioning is a most powerful mode of giving yourself a key to the jail cell. And actually, I will quasi quote something I read years ago. And the quote is slightly wrong, but the idea is once you are awakened, once you are enlightened, The idea is you realize that you've been knocking on the door from the inside the whole time. I love that. I've always loved that. I forget who said it. And so honestly, you don't need a key. The doors to the to the jail cell are always open. The keys that we need are the keys to unkink that mental hose and allow ourselves to feel just a little bit of something just 1% or 0.001% better than we're currently feeling. So if you tend to think very negatively, if you tend to only look at your problems over and over again, if you take a moment to say, yes, this shit thing is happening. I can't take it. I don't like this. This is awful. All these things are bad. But you take one moment and you admit, and this is really hard stuff at first, okay? It really is. And you admit that there's also additionally some decent stuff happening in your life. It doesn't have to be major stuff, okay? In fact, don't make it major stuff. Go for something super small. The power of the small in the energetic and the more positive than where you were a second ago is the pièce de résistance. Seriously. Absolutely. Absolument. I think I said that right. I love French. C'est merveilleux. Really, it's marvelous. Incredible. I created a philosophy and practice called the 1% solution, and it is based on this truth that if you move forward into a slightly better feeling thought of just 1% better than what you're feeling or thinking right now, and you do it with deliberateness and intention, you have literally you have the potential to literally transform your emotional set point, which is what I did with my clinical depression. I completely reset it. It's not there anymore after nearly 4 decades. So I've used it over the last years for many things, this approach, this idea. And so I'm here to tell you that you are not only human and you don't only have your physical body to make things happen. That's not that this physical body is not your limitation and it's not your jail cell. It's not. So if you think that it is, and I would understand 150,000% if you did, because this is how we were raised. This is how our culture looks at everything. This is how we've been programmed. But your thoughts can shift. Your thoughts can be shifted. And when your thoughts shift, because they are married to your emotions, because you can shift your emotional body, your mental body, or you can do them together, which is the most powerful of all, especially at the start of that kind of journey. You can transform your life, which is exactly what I've done. Let me give you an example. Right now, in our country, we have signal gate going on. I've never seen a bigger passel of garbage in my entire adult life. Never. I've never seen people arguing, well, you should look at Hillary's emails. Do you know how freaking long ago that was? And that hasn't got anything to do with the price of beans and has fuck all to do with Signalgate. No. No. Just no. Crazy. We are incredibly unsafe as a country right now. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. It's just, it's insanity. So it's understandable if you're freaked out. What I have come to understand is a couple of things. First of all, I used to be the person, and you can talk to my best friend, Teresa. You can't actually. She probably will not come on here. But she has seen me through every literally nervous breakdown. She has seen me through so much panic and fear. I lived in panic and fear. I had clinical depression and anxiety for a very, very major part of my adulthood. And this situation our country's in right now would be perfect for the woman I used to be, who was like, I've got no control, and the earth, the world is against me, and it's going to hurt me, and I've got no way of impacting the world. So I feel at the mercy of, does this sound familiar? I feel like I'm at the mercy of, but that's not the energetic truth. Really interesting stuff. Really big stuff to understand. Very, very important and very freeing and empowering. Because it's not about, have I got the money yet? Have I got the prestige yet? Have I got the, I'll use myself, acting career that's big and bold yet? Right? Have I got the TED Talk yet? It doesn't start there. That is not your proof. What? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I have to understand this. What are you talking about? That is the proof that I've changed something. Yes, the external is the proof that I changed something. No. If something external happens, it is that in that moment, your energy aligned with your limitlessness and exactly what you needed. I can't think of the right word. I don't want to say manifested, but the right thing actualized itself. That's the word. Like there's a wonderful tarot reader. She's very clear and kind and enthusiastic and just lovely. I can't think of her name right now. I think it's Illuminated Tarot. I hope it's Illuminated Tarot. Her name's Libby. No, it isn't. Shoot. I'll have to find her. She's lovely. Why was I mentioning her? Oh, God, go off the reservation. I can't remember what the heck's going on. There's nobody in the chat to tell me. Darn it. The art of knowing that you are more energy than you are matter is not only interesting, it's fascinating, and it is exactly where your journey always starts. And this is what I was trying to say. You will first notice the difference in how you respond to things. You will first notice that you feel better, because the building blocks of our world are energetic, and they come from our emotional set points, the reverberations, the energy of our emotional set points, our expectations, our emotionally connected visions and expectations and beliefs, positive and negative and everything in the middle. That's where this world is built from. 100%. Yeah. So I'm going to leave you with this thought, that you are both physical and energetic. It's kind of a basic way to see it, and it's absolutely true. You are both. You're not this and this, you are this. Okay? And I love what Bashar says about this. He says, if you are only using your brain and not your emotions, or the other way around, I think, how does he put it? He says, if you are not connecting with your intuition, inspiration, higher self, energy, spiritual energy, you are literally being a half-wit. He's an interesting being to listen to. Sometimes gets a little too far out even for me, and I love to explore the edges of consciousness. not with drugs and things like that, but still. So wasn't much to bring in terms of tarot today. Let me pull. Um, wow, Lori, what is happening, girl? You ever have those moments where you're just like, I don't know what's happening. I thought I was organized, and then I'm like, what's happening? Yeah. Well, I have this wonderful magical deck called the Ascension Oracle, and I want to pull a card for everybody and anybody who is going to watch this in future. You can see there was no chat here, so I can probably take that off. There we go. But I'm going to pull a card for us. I want you to understand something about what we're going through in this country, something that has really helped me a lot. First of all, this cannot last. It can't last. Nothing that has ever happened that's been horrific in our human history has ever lasted forever. It can't. And what's happening right now is that the energy is moving so fast. I mean, my God, we get like 3 major news things and pieces of information that knock us flat every single day. And Trump hasn't even ended up his first 100 days. What the hell? This is because, apparently, I'm not an astrologer. I need to keep learning more, but I'm not the woman if you need astrology. But what I understand from other people who do is that we are definitely in the age of Aquarius, and that started in November of last year, 2024. And it came on to us after 16 years of basically the age of Pluto. I think it was Pluto, which messed with us Capricorns real bad. Whew. Really put us through massive personal growth stuff for 16 years. And yep, 2008 is when my life fell apart. How about yours, if you're a Capricorn? Or if you're somebody whose Capricorn is in a specific sign, maybe you can, or in a specific house, you may be able to relate to this in that way. And Aquarius is all about innovation and creativity, and the energy right now is moving so fast. And this is a mercy. This is a happy thing. Right now, it may not feel like it, so I want to unkink your head around this. Imagine if this were going on for 4 years, not 12 weeks, right? Or however long it's been, 10 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is. 2 problems. One, it would be like the frog in the boiling water, which just steadily gets a little warmer, until suddenly we realize it's boiling and we can't get out. So it's really good. It's waking us up. We're in the streets. We're making a difference. We're waking up and we're standing up and we're going, I've got to do something. And we're doing something. Whatever you can do it. And then you have done your thing and keep doing it. This country is supposed to be about us, not about them. Do you understand? It's not supposed to be about the people who are governing. Nobody's governing currently. But it's supposed to be about us. But if us isn't present, we give our power away. And it takes this kind of crap of this level to get us to go, wait a second, let me think about this. Is this really what I want? Is this really what I thought it was? And for liberals like me, it's, wait a second, I need to be a part of this solution, of this building. Once this shatters, which it's in the process of doing, once this shatters completely, I need to be part of the solution, of the building of something new. That's what I've got to do. Because I feel passionate about it now. Not because it's my duty. No, because I feel passionate about it. I want compassion, and I want creativity, and I want community, and I want care for everybody, and I want children not to be frickin' trafficked, and I want women not to be raped and abused every single frickin' day and put down and shamed for having a feminine aspects that are what will save our and completely transform our world, much less our country. Those are the things I want. Those are the things I'm passionate about now. How do we do that? We have to allow ourselves to return to innocence. And what does that actually mean? What it means when I tune to that channel, to that frequency, innocence is that place that I can actually remember from when I was a kid. Um, it's the place where I had a lot of wonder. Not wonder, but like, wow, like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, wow. And I had some really interesting energy experiences when I was a kid that I still don't really know what they were. But now that I'm tuning in more and more, now that I'm using different techniques to open to what I now know is part of my identity while still in the body, I'm going to try and get some answers. I'm going to get some answers. I'm not going to try. I'm going to get some frickin' answers. Why shouldn't I? Why can't I get answers? Of course I can. I'm limitless. You're limitless. And knowing that I am not just the body, but I am also this energy, this spiritual, limitless abundance and consciousness. What can't I have? What can't you have? You can have and do and be anything, but it requires a shift away from thinking I'm just this skin. I'm only human. Don't say that again. You are not just only human. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No. You are a human energy hybrid. You're probably even more than that, but I think that is as good a starting point as any for realizing that you and I and all of us have the opportunity and, more importantly, the ability to absolutely shift what is going on in this crazy ass country right now. We can start and must start right here with ourselves, coming to an understanding of how we can have an impact on our own lives, not with will, not with force, not with shaming ourselves or shooting on ourselves, all that crap. It's not that. It's an energetic shift. It's an emotional set point shift. That's what it is. Now, if this calls to you in some way, you might want to take a look at the Abraham Hicks work that's on YouTube. I mean, 2.5 years ago, when I was going down for the third time with a nervous breakdown, I was listening to that, trying to raise my energy, however little I understood that. But that was a catalyst in me finding the combination of dekinking the mind and aligning the emotional energy frequency and healing myself permanently of clinical depression after almost 40 years. Come on. That's not because I'm special. That's because I found out what the energy is that works in the universe. And it doesn't mean that that works for me like every single second. I have to remember. I have to remember to practice this. I have to remember to keep unkinking the deeper levels of the mind. But I'll tell you what, my quality of life, I've never been this freaking great ever. And I am not a millionaire. And I do not have a job right now. I'm doing contract work, and I'm also doing my own work in my own company and getting that going in a bigger way and wanting to be a massive public speaker. And I've never been happier in my life. I used to freak out every freaking day. Every day I would be, oh my God, just if there was something that I could find to worry about, I would worry it to death. Absolutely to death. And I would focus on the negative, and I didn't think there was a way out. And I didn't think there was a way out. And I thought that way for so long that thought form became my identity for me. I did not have the understanding that our beliefs, I love this so much. This is another Abraham Hicks thing. Our beliefs are actually just repeated thoughts. And what I love about that is that if I'm repeating thoughts that are making me miserable and believe things that aren't helping me, that I don't want to believe, then can I just repeat thought? Now I know this may remind you of like affirmations. Affirmations, some people love them, some people hate them. I'm not a huge fan unless you use the 1% solution, which is 1% slightly better feeling thought than you had going a second ago. Just inserting a little bit of light into the darkness, because the light does so much work for you. No lie, no lie. So return to innocence. Oh, I put it back in the deck somewhere. I can't show it to you again. Returning to innocence means to find a way, whether it's the 1% solution or it's Abraham Hicks or it's Bashar or it's therapy or whatever it is, that you find a way to start to nudge just by a tiny bit, to nudge yourself into the idea that you can actually have an impact on the quality of your life by choosing to feel a little bit better even when things are crap like they are now. I mean, this is a revolutionary idea, but I'm telling you, if we do this and we do this together and we keep stepping into an understanding that this reality we see around us is something that we already created with our collective energy. We didn't sit around in a war room like Dump Truck and all the rest of them should have done. Well, he wasn't part of that Signal Gate thing, but we didn't sit in some kind of war room and go, hey, we're going to create this really screwed up world. We didn't do that. But we were letting our thoughts and emotions just sort of be unmasterful and ungoverned. Not that we should feel badly about this. This is the way we were raised. This is the way we've been socialized. We didn't know how to do differently or why it was even important or that it was even possible. And I'm here to tell you it so is. It so is. So I'm going to leave you with the thought that you truly are limitless and that the work is not to become a better human. It's not to become a more worthy person, because you are worth. You are made of all that is, and all that is worth, not worthy, worth. So challenge yourself to just be curious about how could it even be possible that I could be attuned with so much that is good, and how can I attune with feeling it, experiencing it before I even have it? Because in doing so, you start to reset your emotional set points. You start to shift them. And the concrete, energetic set point of your life begins to raise. And it's not done with physical force. It's done with curiosity and innocence and wonder and a willingness to confront all of those beliefs and all of those, some people call it ego settings, that would rather you stayed comfortable in your limitations. Challenge yourself, because you are magnificent. And wouldn't it be great to at least touch even just a cup full of that magnificence? Because a cup full of that kind of magnificence is really like as big as an ocean. So let it do its work. Let the light do its work. And I'm going to be coming on here and doing more talks about what empowered consciousness really means. Because it goes from self-confidence all the way to sovereign spirituality or spiritual sovereignty. Yeah. All of the different levels of what we experience in life. We are that. So lots of love and lots of moxie to you, because we need it. We have it. And know that this too, this craziness in this country, this too shall pass. I promise you.